Welcome to one of my favorite things that we do in the algebra chapters of all of math. I love multiplying polynomials. I think it's fun. I know that you think I'm crazy now if you didn't already think that. We're gonna learn 3 different ways that you can do this, and you just need to pick one that you feel comfortable with and do it that way every time. You might try each way within the first assignment, and then maybe that will help you figure out which one is going to be your way. So, and I'll tell you which way I prefer as we go. So we're going to multiply polynomials, okay? So the first method is called horizontal distribution. And this one, I don't know that I've ever had a student have this be the way they end up doing it forever. But I'm going to show it to you just in case you're that student. So when we're multiplying polynomials, we're, for the most part, going to be multiplying a binomial times a binomial. Okay? So a 2-term times a 2-term. Okay? So for the horizontal, and this is 2 different problems, so that's a problem and that's a problem. Okay? And they're right next to each other, right? There's no plus or minus. They're right next to each other, just like this is 3x, 3 times x. This is x plus 2 times x plus 5. And when it's in parentheses, we would say the quantity of. So to be fancy, this would be the quantity x plus 2 times the quantity x plus 5. We usually skip the quantity part. Okay? So to multiply these horizontally, you're going to take each piece and multiply it by the other whole thing. So basically you're going to be distributing twice. So you're going to take this x and multiply it by the x plus 5, and then you're going to take the 2 and multiply it by the x plus 5. Okay, I'm going to erase my scribble so you can see what this means. So that's setting up the problem, and then we're going to actually multiply. So x times x is x squared. Remember that. It's very important as we're multiplying. X times x is x squared. And then x times 5 would be plus 5x. And then we're going to keep going. We're going to make a long polynomial. So 2 times x is plus 2x. 2 times 5 is plus 10. Okay, so we started with 4 pieces, 2 pieces here and 2 pieces here, right? And we ended up with 4 pieces. However, we're not done because we've got these 2 x terms in the middle that are like terms. So you can add those together, combine those like terms, and get 7x, and that's your answer. Okay? For the most part, when we are doing this, we're multiplying binomials, and we're going to end up with a trinomial. Yeah, I'm going to not do this one. I'm going to just move on to the next screen for space purposes. Okay? So, using the horizontal method, we're going to take this part of the first one and multiply it by all of that. So x times x plus 2. And then plus 8, the other part of that, and multiply it by everything. And so I'm going to move down here in the bottom here. So x times x is x squared. Oops, squared. X times 2 is 2x. Okay, and then so we did that, and now we're going to move on. So 8 times x is 8x, and 8 times 2 is 16. And then we need to go that last final step and combine our 2 terms, which will almost always be in the middle. And we've got x squared plus 10x plus 16. Notice some work, right? So we've got it set up. We've got the middle step after we've multiplied, and then our final answer. Let me erase so we can do the next one because there's a minus in there, and that's a little bit different. Okay. So we're going to take our x, multiply it by everything. on the other binomial. And then we're going to take our -5 and multiply it by everything. So x times x is still x squared. X times 1 is x, or 1x. You can put the 1 there if you want. And then we're going to move on. So -5 times x is -5x. And -5 times 1 is -5. Okay. So be careful. This negative goes with the 5 when you rewrite it down here. Okay. And then, of course, we need to combine our like terms in the middle there. And so we've got x squared. Positive x minus 5x would be -4x minus 5. And you're done. That's your answer. But notice there's work. Then we move on to method number 2. Okay? It's the box. I usually call it the box. Some people call it table, but I call it the box method. Okay? Because you will make a box. So, again, we've got a binomial times a binomial. Okay, this is already worked out, so I can do some examples with you, and then I'm going to do some examples with you. But so basically, you write. It's kind of like a Punnett square in biology. So you write one of them in the top here. So notice 2x minus 3, 2x minus 3 as two terms, right? And then x plus 5 is down the side here. This is positive 5, so we didn't write the plus 5, but you could write the plus if you wanted to. And then you multiply. So x times 2x is 2x squared. 5 times 2x is 10x. X times -3 is -3x. And 5 times -3 is -15. That's a lot of scribbles on there. I apologize. Don't worry, we're going to do some examples. Okay? And then, if you notice, you have two x terms with just an x, right? So you're gonna write out your answer, 2x squared, and you can do this in 2 steps if you want. Minus 3x plus 10x minus 15. So you wrote all of those pieces lengthwise in a trinomial or a polynomial, or and then you can add those up, or you can add them up before you write it out. It's up to you depending on how well you understand this. Okay. So let's do an example from scratch together. So we need to multiply 2x plus 3 and x minus 3. So we're going to make ourselves a little box guy here. Okay, and so we're going to write, and I'm going to do it the other way. We're going to do 2x plus 3. You can make the plus if you want. And x minus 3. It doesn't matter which one you put where. And then we can actually do our multiplying. So 2x times x, remember it's multiplying, okay? And that would be 2x squared. And then x times 3 is 3x. 2x times -3 is -6x. And then 3 times -3 is -9. Okay? You don't, of course, have to make all those weird lines like that, which it's just I'm trying to show you what we're doing. So then we can write it out, 2x squared minus 6x plus 3x minus 9. And then, of course, add up our middle terms, 2x squared minus 3x minus 9, and that's your answer. This is another method, okay? So I've had many students over the years like this method as the best because you like tables, okay? Tables make you happy. So let's try another one, okay? So let's make our table. Doesn't have to be a fancy table, right? That looks like tic-tac-toe, but and we've got x minus 3, x minus 6, and then we multiply. So x times x, oops, let me change colors, is x squared. X times -3 is -3x. X times -6 is -6x. And then -3 times -6 is a positive 18. And then we write it out. X squared minus 6x minus 3x plus 18. Could you have switched these two and written this 3x, -3x first? Of course, it doesn't matter. And then combine your like terms, x squared minus 9x plus 18. Okay, don't forget that last step. It's important, okay, to combine those like terms. And then let's do this other guy here. So let's make ourselves a table. I don't know why I made that one so much. Okay, that's just funky looking table, but that's okay. Let's do this. Okay, so we've got 2x and 1 and 3x and minus 5, right? Negative 5. And then 2x times 3x is 6x squared. Remember, x times x is always x squared. I keep saying that, but you're going to forget it. Don't forget it. And then 3x times 1 is 3x. Negative 5 times 2x is negative 10x. And 1 times negative 5 is negative 5. So we write this out. And I'm actually going to do it this way. So let's combine those as we go. So 6x squared minus 7x minus 5. So you can skip that middle step of writing it all out if you know that it's these two that get added together. Okay? So that's the box method. And then our last method, which is my preferred method because it's the one that I learned when I was in high school. It is not necessarily the best or easiest. It's just the one that I am comfortable with because it's the one that I have been doing for 30 plus years. So FOIL stands, FOIL is actually an abbreviation. It stands for first, outer, I'm not sure it's supposed to be two T's in outer, but that's okay, inner, and last. So first, outer, inner, last, okay? What that means is, so we are going to FOIL, first, outer, inner, last, or first, outside, inside, last, depending on what mood I'm in, which means that that's the order that we're going to multiply stuff in. So we're going to multiply the first two terms, x times x is x squared. We're going to multiply the outside terms. So the outside terms, so x times negative 7 is negative 7x. And then I'm going to change colors. The inside terms, 3x. And then the last two terms, which would be your two constants, 3 times negative 7 would be negative 21. And then, like every method, you would combine your middle terms and get x squared minus 4x minus 21. Okay. So let's try this guy down here. Okay, so we're going to start by multiplying the first two terms in the binomial. So 2x times 5x is 10x squared. Then we're going to multiply the outside two terms. Actually, let me do this. I have 4 colors. So then we're going to multiply the outside two terms. So 2x times negative 4 is negative 8x. And then the inside two terms we're going to multiply. Negative 1 times 5x is negative 5x. And then the last two terms in the binomials, which would be your two constants, okay? Negative 1 times negative 4 is positive 4. And then we can combine our like terms and get 10x, x squared. Let me undo that. 10x squared. Negative 8x minus 5x would be negative 13x plus 4. Notice that on every one of these, we're multiplying, right? Find the product, multiplying, because they're right next to each other here. And it's a binomial times a binomial, okay? We could be multiplying other things, but we are right now worrying about that. So your choices are the distribution, horizontal distribution, or boxing, or FOIL, which is first, outer, inner, last. Okay? Please, please, please ask questions in chat, in Zoom, and make sure that you, when you ask, say, this is the way I've been doing it, can you show me how to do it this way on number 4, whatever. Okay? And we will do that.